I'm Ollie, and this video is about voice leading. It's an aspect of music theory that a lot of people struggle with when they first get into it. I've had a lot of people asking me about it as well. Essentially, it is just a method of moving between chords smoothly. We're going to focus on triads for this because it's the most simple way to understand it, really. And the basic explanation of how to do it is, when moving between chords, move the fewest notes in the first chord the smallest distance you can to reach the second chord. It ends up making you play in lots of different strange inversions, but that's a good thing to get used to as well, and it's certainly helped me out as I've been able to apply it to how I play. So this piece is in the key of E major. I'm going to try and use a section of that piece I played at the beginning, which uses voice leading all through its entirety, to show you how this actually works. This is a simple section, so hopefully it'll be pretty clear what I'm trying to get across. So the chord sequence for this is 1, 3, 4, 1, 5. We're starting on the 1 chord of E major, which is E major. The degrees of the scale we use in there are 1, 3, and 5. And that's what you've got to keep track of when you're doing this, when you're playing it. You've got to think, what degrees of the scale am I using in this chord? And it gets a bit tricky, especially if you add in more notes, like if you're doing 7th chords or beyond. But yeah, you get used to it as you go along. So starting with 1, 3, 5, which gives us in this key E, G sharp, and B for an E major. Then we're moving up to the 3rd chord, which in this key is G sharp minor. What not to do is move the entire shape up, which does give us G sharp minor, but it's not using voice leading. What you want to do is think, what degrees of the scale am I using? For this, it being the 3rd chord, it'd be 3, 5, and 7. You've already got the 3 and the 5. You just move the 1st down to the 7th and you get a different inversion of that G sharp minor. And that's how this works, moving one note down instead of moving the entire chord up. The next chord is the 4th chord. It's going to be an A major. So for this, being the 4th, you have to think, what degrees am I using? It's going to be 4, 6, and 8. The easiest way to do this is to shift every note up from the 3rd chord. And then we're going to go back to the 1st. You've already got the 1st there. You just have to move the 4th down to the 3rd, the 6th down to the 5th. And you're back at that E major there. Then we're going to the 5th. So we've already got the 5th in there because this is 1, 3, 5. The next one's going to be 5, 7, 2. So keep the 5, move the 1st down to the 7th and the 3rd down to the 2nd. And you've got that B major. So the whole section is this. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions or comments, feel free to write it down below. Thank you.